So to start this one off, I just wanted to throw out there one of the one of the lessons that I think a lot of people maybe they know it, but they don't believe it, right? Is learn from your mistakes. Nothing is a mistake if you learn the lesson. And if you don't learn the lesson, you're going to keep making the same mistake until you do learn the lesson. And my most recent lesson is I just learned not to upload directly from Adobe Premiere Pro into YouTube because it took about 5 minutes to render the introduction and 35 minutes to upload the damn thing. So I had some momentum built up and all that just went right down the drain. So, anyway, where to go with this one? The catalyst that started it all. As I had mentioned in the last video, for roughly 32 years of my life, I have primarily been, I've definitely been pessimistic, right? Definitely been negative. I've always looked at all the bad going on in my life, and there were times that, obviously I look at other people and see all the good going on in their life and, get jealous, the whole nine yards. And before I started to see everything differently, I was working down in Key West on a project. Now, the company that I used to work for, I was a deployment manager. And usually the deployment managers are not in the field, right? All you got to do is, interact with the customer, give updates, check on your guys, send out schedules, all the managerial crap that goes with it. But I got to be honest, doing that, being at home, working from home, I found myself getting more and more depressed by the day. If I'm not out doing something, it's just it was heavy on my mind. So for that project in particular, since it was a relatively big project that would catapult several more projects just like it, I decided to go down there and essentially do this project, with my guys, but have my hands in the racks, down and dirty. And one of the nights in October, we went ahead and we got done with the migration Thursday night, Friday morning. And I spent that Friday just preparing for the next week. Pretty much stayed the entire day inside the head end, just going at it. And then by the time nightfall came, I went, secured food, and for whatever reason, I decided to drive down to the Little Duck Key boating dock, which is between Key West and Marathon. And I couldn't have picked a better night if I had planned the damn thing. It was beyond perfect. It was a new moon, so it was pitch black outside. The weather, it was about maybe 78 degrees, I believe, but there was a constant breeze coming in. So it felt more like 74, 72. The breeze was keeping the bugs away, so there were no bugs. The sound of the crashing of the waves. It was so dark out that I could faintly see, I don't know if it was the Milky Way or what, I could faintly see some type of galaxy beyond our world with the naked eye. And as I laid there in the bed of the truck, just observing everything and taking it all in and just letting go of everything, I saw a shooting star. So, tradition, I closed my eyes, I made a wish. And shortly thereafter, I saw another shooting star. So I went ahead and, closed my eyes, made a wish. And within the next 2 hours, 3 hours, I saw a good 30, 40 of these damn things. It was exactly what I needed at that point in time. It made me feel like a kid again. I don't even know if I had that feeling when I was a kid, ever. I felt I don't even know how to describe what I was feeling, but shortly after that, it had me realizing just how small everything really is, how short time is, how beautiful life can be. All types of stuff that I just was not seeing, I was not paying attention to, just came flooding in. And that is exactly what I needed at that point in time in my life. Interestingly enough, a few months earlier, my ex, who I never truly fell out of love with, re entered my life. But when I shared that magical experience with her as best as I could, I sat there trying to take pictures of it, and as it was going on, I was describing it, the whole 9 yards, and she woke up and read all the messages, saw the pictures, and she wasn't wrong, but her logical conclusion was, well, of course you saw that many shooting stars. It was a meteor shower, and she sent me a link. Man, I that honestly had me thinking, like, damn, her and were similar in a lot of aspects. I would like to say, at least I thought we were, but it definitely made me realize that people like her are the people that I've brought into my life, that I've attracted in my life, that I've kept in my life. And maybe that was part of the issue. That was part of my issue is I attracted all these people with negative outlooks on life, and yeah, it's more logical and all that, which is fine. It's fine to be logical. But there's a fine line between being logical and seeing something for what it is, but still allowing yourself to believe in something else like magic, or whatever. The experience that I was having. She could have at least been happy for me, and it didn't seem like she was. So it opened my eyes. It made me realize that even if I could change my outlooks on life, even if I could somehow shift to looking at everything in a more positive light, I'm only going to keep getting dragged down if I have nothing but negative people in my energy. So over the next year, one by one, I slowly started to not cut them out, but just push them away. Give me the space that I need to do what it was that I needed to do. I would still talk to them if they talked to me. I would still interact with them, but not anything past, surface level conversations. I wanted to see how that would go, what it would do for me, and that's exactly what I did. And up until I damn near let something destroy me a year later in October of 2024, essentially, well, the issue started in October of 2024 and it only got worse until I snapped out of it. But essentially, overall, even though in the beginning of it all, I had to more or less force myself to be positive and to think positively, I still felt better. Just overall, I felt better. I felt happier. I didn't feel so alone, even though I was still alone. It was weird. So, after doing that and just focusing on myself, focusing on my energy, my thoughts, and the good things started to come into my life, which reinforced my positive viewpoints. It made it that much easier to be positive at that point. The problem is when things started going south, I let myself slip off of that path that I was on, the path that I worked so hard to get to. I let my current circumstances get in the way of it. It's one thing to acknowledge what's going on and to, buckle down and try and correct the course and fix it. It's another thing to let those circumstances get the better of you and put you in that negative mindset, put you in that back to that energy where you don't think anything's possible, nothing's working out for you. Maybe it was all for nothing. And I think that that's exactly why everything started happening the way it happened, is to essentially to teach me that lesson that I did not learn. I thought that, okay, forcing myself to be positive is all I needed to do and things would be great. And then things were great. And I thought to myself, for sure, this is the way to go. But you can be positive even if you're in a bad situation. You can choose to be positive. And I chose to be negative because of what was going on. And that's all I got back was negativity. So this is me seeing everything for what it is and seeing that I can choose to be positive even though I'm not in the best place right now. Because I know at the end of the day, I know what I'm capable of. I know that I can make the impossible happen. I've done it. I've done it plenty of times in the past. So why would I let one bad situation completely overwrite everything that I already know to be true? Why would I focus on the one bad thing that's going on when I know deep down that I can fix it? I can find something else. I can do something else. I can, you know, sometimes we don't feel like we can because we feel like we failed when things don't go our way. But what we fail to acknowledge, what we fail to remember is we're the ones who made that possible to begin with. If we can do it once, we can do it again. And if that one doesn't work out, we can find something else and we can do it there. Life has a funny way of teaching you these lessons because it will give you something as a reward and then it will rip it right out from under you just so you can learn the lesson that you didn't learn the first time. And if you don't learn the lesson, it's just going to keep happening. I do believe that everything happens for a reason. And I believe that even the bad things are good in a sense because there is a lesson that you need to learn so that you don't end up there again. And that's exactly what I've been focusing on recently. I've been looking at a lot of my past failures, which I never truly I'm very prideful when it comes to my work. And after some of the recent events from a business partner that I signed a contract with, where to me it just looks like he let greed get the better of him and he fucked us both over. And I let that get to me because I put so much hard work into getting everything to where it was to begin with. When I signed a contract with this guy, he was using my name to get more contracts, but then he wasn't giving me the work. He was giving it to his guys, and then they were screwing it up. And then we ended up in a spot where the customer that we were dealing with, they didn't really want to give us any more work because they couldn't tell if, who was going to be doing it. Why would they keep giving it to a company that they expect one person to do it, somebody else does it, it gets screwed up, and they have to pay more money to get it fixed? It doesn't even make sense. I don't blame them for the decision, I don't blame them for the decisions that they've made based off of where everything's been. I don't. It's just a bad situation that I can't control. But my solution is to find other business partners and contract out to them. I mean, this guy, even though the market that we're working in right now, that's been my market for 5 years, and I built a pretty good reputation down there. If I can't have it, then I can't have it. It's as simple as that. So I'll make my reputation elsewhere. I'll keep going. I'll find different things to do. I don't have to let this stop me. That's exactly what I'm doing. The badges that we needed to get just came in Wednesday, late Wednesday, I believe. So I'll be starting that new venture here in the next couple weeks, hopefully, and I'll keep going. But I can't let one bad situation stop me from obtaining the success that I know I'm capable of obtaining. I won't let it happen again. I'm better than that. I learned my lesson. If something's not working out for you, don't sit there and wait for it to change. Don't sit around in your self pity talking about why it didn't work and pointing at all the people that were responsible. There's no point. It's not going to serve you a purpose. It's not going to fix it. There's nothing you can do except for move on and find something else. And that is what I'm doing. But this video has gone on for a bit over than what I expected it to. I also find that when I'm talking out loud, I pause. I have these long pauses. So I keep having to go through all the audio and edit out these long pauses of me processing what it is that I'm thinking versus what I actually want to say. So I don't know that I want to go and scrub through hours worth of me ranting. So I'm going to try and keep these videos. Originally, I had a goal set for no longer than like 10 minutes. I can't really get a lot said in 10 minutes. So I'm thinking I'll adjust it to 20. And then if I hit the 20 minute mark, by the time I'm cutting it all down, it'll probably be closer to 15. Oh, man. But learning my lesson, I guess I will close this chapter out, clean up the audio, and I will export it to my hard drive, not upload it directly to YouTube from Adobe Premiere Pro. So if I went to record another one, I'm not stuck here waiting for 40 minutes in total. You know, as long as you learn something, it wasn't a mistake. Without mistakes, how else are we supposed to learn? We don't know everything. We're going to make mistakes. It depends on what you take away from that mistake that makes it useful to you, to your growth, to your understanding of the world, to the way everything works. If you make a mistake and you don't learn anything, you block it out, you ignore it, you shrug it off, it's just going to keep happening. Everything has a lesson. You just have to look for them. But this is enough of this video for this old dog. Until next time, friends.